Start making cakes today here in our cocinarista cook office, and we're going to do a white vanilla cake. What we need is 3 cups of all flour, 1 3/4 cups of sugar, some salt, baking powder, vanilla, or 4 eggs, 1 1/4 cups of whole milk. And if you do not have whole milk, I always have cream and skim milk in the house. You can do 3/4 cups of heavy cream or cream that you use for your coffee plus a 1/2 cup of skim milk. First is do 2 sticks of butter, and we're going to cream it with the sugar. If you do not, if you like, you can do butter flavored shortening. Butter flavored shortening, you should always put 2 tablespoons of water because butter has water, shortening does not. So it's 2 sticks of butter or 1 big stick, which is 2 sticks of butter of buttered flavored shortening, and 2 tablespoons of water, which we're going to cream with the sugar. That is creaming. We will do a tablespoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Make sure all your ingredients are at room temperature. It mixes better, mixes well, and comes out really, makes a difference. Make sure your food is at room temperature when you're baking. It makes a big difference on how your product comes out. We're also going to mix in a tablespoon of vanilla extract, or you can even use any type of liqueurs, with your butter and sugar. 4 large eggs. This is still creaming. A tablespoon of vanilla extract. If you do not have vanilla extract and you have a nice liqueur like an almond liqueur or a brandy, you can use that as well. And now your eggs. Everything, you should always put your oven at room temperature. You shouldn't put on your oven, let it get heat up once, and then it's all set. You should have it warm up for a good 15 minutes. There should be, if you have butter, use butter. If you have shortening, remember shortening, if you're using a whole stick of shortening, which is 2 sticks of butter, you need 2 tablespoons of water. Your sugar here. Don't forget, if you're using shortening, you need to add some water. 2 tablespoons of water to 1 stick of shortening, which is equivalent to 2 sticks of butter. Let's scrape down the sides here before we add in our eggs. Reduce the speed so your food isn't flinging everywhere when you add them in. One at a time. And increase the speed. It'll start looking like churned butter because you're adding in the eggs. While you're creaming up your butter and your sugar and your extract, you're going to mix together your tablespoon of baking powder with your salt, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and your flour, and mix it in there with the fork, sort of like whisking it. Here a pan. We're going to make a flat cake. Now what we're going to do here in 3 steps is flour, milk, and end up with flour. And we're going to reduce the speed, or if not, things are going to go. Of your flour. Add your flour, let it get incorporated before you add in some of your milk. Do 1/2 of your milk. Get that incorporated. Another 1/3 of your flour. So we're doing it in thirds. Flour, milk, end up with flour. Last portion of our milk. And incorporate the last bit of the flour. We'll scrape down the sides. Mix it in again. So everything's in there, but we still need to scrape down the sides. Make sure everything gets well mixed. Get the sides scraped down. Go down to the center. Stir it up from the center up. Got everything from the bottom, from the sides. Scrape down your blade one more time before you do a final blend. Before we do a final blend, I always like to scrape down the sides, clean the blade off one more time. Go down to the center of the batter. Mix it well. Do one more run through, make sure everything's well blended. The oven's been heated up. We're going to clean off our mixing blade. Make sure we incorporate all of that. Don't want to lose any ingredients. Put in the sides. Go down always to the center. Bring up the center. Here's our lovely batter, which we will put in the pan. Bake it at 350 for 30 minutes or until a cake tester comes out clean. Make sure you have buttered your pan, lined it with parchment paper. Butter that as well. Now that we've made the cake nice and layered, layer it up. Cut off the excess parchment paper. Bake it for 350 for 30 minutes or till a cake taster comes out and it's slightly golden. We will then be baking later a chocolate cake because we're going to make it a vanilla chocolate cake. But this is a vanilla cake decorated with your favorite frosting and serve it up as a birthday cake or any type of surprise. I hope you enjoyed it. Watch my other video on putting a cake together and I'll see you then.